Do not make it a habit to hold hate in your heart, to hold grudges. Don't make it a habit to use the word hate even when you're talking about some food that you dislike. To hold hate and negativity in your heart can change you, especially when you're around like-minded people. And it works, seemingly to me, it works faster when you are in the midst of negative people, because it's like a fast moving train, I guess you could say. It's very rapid. To me, it is. Because it's hard, is to be angry is like a release. You know, a release of frustration, a release of anxiety and what you think is negative, a release of, you know, that pent up anger. So you want to say something to somebody. It's okay for you to stay angry, because that's the only way you know how to deal with it. Somebody done pissed you off, somebody done did you dirty, whatever the case may be. You got pulled over, you got a ticket. You probably was speeding. And 9 times out of 10, most people don't got the lawyers or the money or the time to sit here and fight something that they really don't know they innocent of. You know, in that scenario, those situations when it's, you know, dealing with the law. But being angry doesn't help any of that. Being frustrated doesn't help any of that. Taking a deep breath and capturing a peace of mind, capturing peace, getting away from everybody else or whatever the case may be. Go somewhere by yourself, get quiet, and reflect on, you know, who's accountable for this situation. I had to do that myself a lot when I'm, you know, dealing with a lot of different things. And you know, I would be angry about something, and I'm like, let me reflect. Let me look at this. And I was like, man, you know that's your fault. If you hadn't have done this, you got to look at the steps it took to get to be that angry. The steps that it took to feel that way. Where did it come from? You got to backtrack. So, situation takes place, and I'm like, you know what? If you had never opened your mouth about this particular subject, this person would have never responded to you in that manner. And when they responded to you in that manner, you felt like it was justified to give them the same energy. And then when you did that, what happened? You got to arguing. You wouldn't have never got to arguing if you'd have kept your mouth closed. And that could fit into so many different scenarios, so many different situations. But I know that, you know, if I can give you a real good example, I had co-workers on the job. They have beef with each other. They get in trouble. Things happen. And you kind of look at it like, hey, they might be somebody you know. So you're like, hey, man, what happened with so-and-so? Oh, man, this, that, and the third. And so-and-so said this, like, oh, okay. And so you want to be the good Samaritan, or you want to be the nurturer, or you want to be the person of wisdom and say, you know what? If you didn't say this, it probably wouldn't have been this bad. You probably would have, that person might not be receptive of that in that situation. Might not be. And so now y'all got into a tiff, and then you mad at them, they mad at you. Don't stay mad about that, because it's probably your fault. Don't excuse yourself. It's probably your fault. So, even if it's not your fault, don't harbor anger towards anything. Anything. People are losing their temper over freaking football games, and they don't even own the team. They don't have a stake in a team or sports team. And they losing, the team lose. They didn't have a bet. They didn't have anything invested in this team other than the time. Excuse me. They team lose. They break the TV. They breaking the remote. They tearing stuff off the walls. It's crazy. Don't anger. Do not hold anger. Try not to be angry. Try to take a breath. Try to find an escape route. If you know I know I got anger issues for real. That's why I'm, talking about this. I got anger issues, and I've learned to not ask certain people certain questions. I've learned not to engage in certain conversations. I've learned not to I learned not to pull the trigger on the triggers. Because, like, for example, last night I'm at work. So it's gotten so meticulous around the job that they always say, if you have a question, if you're not sure of something, ask us and we'll give you an answer. Okay, cool. So I'm looking. I'm like, this doesn't look right. I checked it 3 times. And so I go to my supervisor and I say, hey, can you check this? It's looking like this, but the system doesn't register it. Tell me about it. One supervisor starts talking. He's like, oh yeah, that does look weird. So the other supervisor, he's been there longer than I have, and he says, oh, well, when this, that, and the third, don't worry about it because it reads differently in the system than how we see it. I said, okay. I said, well, basically, how can I know this so I don't have to come up here and see that? He was like, well, you don't have to do any of that because it's going to read differently on your screen than it does our computers. So it was my fault that I got a little upset at the way he presented himself. And I kind of took offense to it, but I didn't have to. Regardless of the situation, people present themselves in different ways. And sometimes sometimes we want to pick and choose, and we want to assume that they're being negative on purpose. Or we want to assume that they're being sarcastic. And sometimes it's just that person's personality or character. So I was mad for a little while, and I said, this dude always got to give a smart answer. But he do give smart answers sometimes. And he's like, yeah, the system is 99.9% correct. I said, but it's not 100%. And it's not perfect. But you seem like you aggravated because I asked you a question. And I hate that. I hate that when you in that position and I come to you with questions and you act like you ain't got time. So I can't take time to worry about that. I got my answer, move on. It's not worth you being angry. When you are angry and you hold those type of emotions, you're investing yourself, your energy into something that's not necessary. It's not necessary. Look at it like this. Did you get the information that you was looking for? Did you receive what you was looking for when you had a conversation with this person? Yeah. Okay, walk away. Even if you don't receive the information with this person, do you want to argue with them? Do you want to lose that little piece of yourself? And when I say peace, I mean inner peace, because this person want to act nasty towards you. Folks, the people that make us angry, the things that make us angry, or the things that, and nothing makes us angry. That's another video. We allow ourselves to be angry, because nobody can make you angry. When we are in the midst of those things that cause us to shift our emotions into an angry state, you don't have to be there. You don't have to talk to that person. You don't have to interact when you have an idea that this thing is going to happen. So protect your peace by understanding who and what will aggravate you. Who and what will possibly change you, and strengthen yourself and make yourself a little bit more, tough, I can say, against that. Just turn your head, man. Just like, it's not worth your job, it's not worth your time, it's not worth your peace. So don't be angry, folks. Don't be angry. Don't hold anger in your heart. Don't do that. Don't do that.